through your observation with all your colleagues, right? What are the characteristics of, of a game designer? It sounds like, it, are they all fun-loving people who is always joking around, or very imaginative, always thinking about a challenge? How would you describe the characteristic of people in your industry?
I think my game designers are watching the Facebook feed actually, so I have to be very careful how I describe them now. I have 6 game designers at Altitude. Okay, so definitely they're all very creative. That is a prereq for this job. You need to be able to problem solve, right? So every day in gaming, whether you're a game design artist or like programmer, every day is new. Like there's always something to figure out, something to fix that you didn't do yesterday. And especially for game designers, these are all puzzles. Like, for example, let's say you have a game out, right? And we have metrics where we kind of measure like player activity. And let's say the metrics come back and they say, people are quitting after level 5. Like they just stop playing after level 5. So now as a game designer, you have to figure out, is it too hard? Is it too easy? Right? Are the instructions unclear? Is there a bug that's slowing the game down? So like, it's a lot of unknowns, and every day you kind of have to sit there and figure it out. And so my game designers are all highly intelligent. They're gonna like that I said that. Highly intelligent, but also they're not afraid to face problems, and they will solve problems. They'll figure it out, and extremely self-reliant. Yeah, so I think that's important, but also you have to be very technical to be a game designer because you are working with software, right? So you're working with engines, you're working with data, and all sorts of different tools. So it's not enough to be like, I'm very creative, I'm going to write up all these documents about my dream game. But then if I ask you to prototype it, like go make it, they don't know what to do. So you also have to be very technically skilled.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Speaking of technically skills, it doesn't sound like it's a natural career for a woman. What are the ratio of men, women in your industry? Men to women?
It depends on the type of job. So traditionally, especially because the gaming industry is older in other countries, the Western countries, it has been traditionally more male dominated. But there's nothing in game design or game development that is inherently gendered. So it doesn't actually matter. Like, I mean, not that it doesn't matter, but you know what I mean? So it's like
a very offensive remark here. I do apologize.
no, it's just I just want to make it clear. And I've gotten this question before, what is it like being a female game designer? Like being female doesn't actually change. Like it doesn't affect how I do something, right? It's either you're good at your work or you're not, right? And so what I've found is over the years, because when I started in games here, again, there were very, very, very few of us. So in the team that I joined, I was the only girl at the time. And then I started teaching in schools. I taught at De La Salle University actually for a couple of years. And so I would teach game design. And I also saw like most of the students were male at the start. And the first day I would always ask them, why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? And then the guys would be like, oh, I've been playing games since I was, whatever. And I've always wanted to be in games. And I kid you not, the first class I ever had, I had a few girls, and one of them said, I'm only here because like the other classes are full, or I'm only here because my boyfriend's here. I'm like, well, great. I hope you enjoy. But then as the years went by, then I got more and more women joining my class, and they'd be like, I've always wanted to make games. Because I grew up playing games, and because they grew up in a world where being a gamer was no longer gendered, right? Well, I grew up, gamers were male, 18 to 35 years old, playing Counter-Strike, like that's what a gamer was, and I didn't identify with that. Now, no, you're playing games when you're young. Everyone has a Switch. Everyone's playing whatever it is on their phones. Like, it doesn't matter. And so because these girls are growing up knowing that they're gamers and they can make games too, the numbers of female gamers and female game developers are increasing, even in our company. So we used to joke for years, like we can't find a female programmer just because, you know, there aren't that many.
Yep.
But now we have one. She's amazing. Also, I hope she's watching. She might not be. I don't think she knows about this feed.
She can watch replay on video.
Yeah, but yeah. So I guess I'm pretty passionate about it. Like, I want more women to join the industry for sure. Right. And the only way that's going to happen is if there are students, like the students who are watching now, who are like, I can be a game developer. It doesn't matter like which gender I identify with. Like, I want to do that. Right. And then you go do it. And the more that you do it, the more that the industry will be diverse. And then 10 years from now, you know, the CEOs and the COOs and all of those, there will be more women also making decisions just because they started from the bottom and got promoted.
And the world would be a much better place if that's to happen. I mean, look at the pandemic right now. The female-ruled countries are the one that are the most safe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I've got 2 daughters. I cannot be more excited about this.
Women rule the world for sure.
Absolutely. I'm all for it. Cosmo, would you like to come forward? Yes, miss. Oh, you were here last week. You asked a very good question 2 weeks ago.
Hi, sir. Hi, Paul. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, she's a scholarship student from the Philippines, studying in
Hello.
Hi, Paul. I have a question, but it does not fully relate into the game itself. But it's like, do you have any words of wisdom about for girls who are struggling past the social stigma about being in charge of the game industry and other industries? Yeah.
Wow.
Before you answer that, can I give her a very quick advice? Learn Krav Maga. That's what Luna does.
That's one way.
Go ahead, Luna.
So I love that you asked this question. Don't let anybody stop you from doing whatever it is you want to do. That's really the bottom line. Again, you know, game design isn't gendered. Being in games isn't gendered. You can be a pro gamer. You can be a game programmer. You can own your own company in games, and it doesn't matter which gender you're in. So you might run into people who don't agree with that. I for sure have run into a few. You have to not let them stop you. I wish I could say don't care, but I care like all the time. So I still get, you know, oh, that hurts, whatever. But fine, you can feel whatever it is you want to feel, but just do the work and be the best at it. And really, your work is going to speak for itself, right? And I would love to see you in whatever industry that you choose, be it games or something else. Just soar. Do not let anybody like prevent you from following your dream. And then 5 years, 10 years from now, you're going to be the one like speaking to Shaun. That would be amazing.
I look forward to that day.